So I did a little investigation, checking out how long this game is, and it turns out that this game is about 17 to 18 hours long. And if I make every video about 15 minutes, that means that we are looking at about 70 episodes. Hey guys, it's your boy, Bo the Doggo, and welcome back to Adastra, episode 4. I might actually make this episode a little longer than I've had this far, just so that it won't be up to 70 episodes. It feels a bit much, but we'll see. Every recording is about an hour, so if I want to do a half an hour episode, I would have to record for 2 hours, so I don't know. We'll see what we do, but let me know in the comments how you enjoy these shorter episodes so far, and if you want them to be longer. Anyhow, what happened last episode? We fought with Amicus and knocked him out with his taser looking thing, and now he's bound up and unconscious, and it seems that the hyperdrive was activated and we are on our way to Adastra, and now we're gonna find out what happens next, so let's go. Finally, he opens his eyes, and because he's on his side, I am the first thing that he sees. He squints, frowns, and then groans again, turning over to his stomach. Oh, what the hell? I clear my throat and swallow, trying not to show how nervous I am. Yeah, what the hell? You tased me again. What? Amicus turns his head and looks at me again, then looks away, letting out another groan. Oh, my stomach! What did you do? Exactly what you did to me. I hold up my taser, turning it in the light so that the wolf can fully see it. Amicus stares at it for a moment before letting his face fall back on the floor of the deck. Oh my god, it feels like I'm on fire! Did you use it on full power? What the hell is wrong with you? Despite my fear and anxiety over this entire situation, I'm able to feel indignant. Me? You did the same to me, then lied to me, and then tased me again, and then tied me up. You're crazy! Well, I would never use it full power on anyone! Ugh! Amicus seems to ignore my rant as he rolls onto his back, probably stretching out the muscles that I hit with the taser. I wait a while longer, listening to the grunts, groans, and complaints as Amicus continues to whine. I'm not that stupid though. I can tell that he's stalling for time, trying to figure out the way to get out of this. I stand up. Take me home. Amicus opens one eye, glaring at me. What? I said take me home. Amicus goes quiet for a moment. Then he forces himself to sit up, visibly cringing as he's forced to use his stomach muscles. He scoots back with more complaints until he plants his back against the wall behind him. I can see his shoulders shift, his biceps bulging, and I can tell that he's working and testing the restraints. I raise the taser. Stop moving or I am going to hit you again. Oh, fuck off. I move towards him, brandishing the taser like a sword. Hey! Amicus kicks his feet up, trying to block my attack. Now I see the real fear in his eyes. Then stop moving and tell me how we get back. I don't really want to shock him again. It did look really painful, and on top of that, I don't want to knock him out for hours while our little ship is hurtling through space. Amicus glares at me for a moment, his feet still in the air before he slowly lowers them. I'll show you if you'd let me go. I actually laugh, and the sound seems to startle the wolf. Are you kidding me? Why should I trust you at all after all you've done to me? Amicus' ears flatten. Tell me where the hell you're taking me, otherwise I will zap you again. He seems at loss of words. I can't tell you. I glare, and for a moment I consider just jabbing him right then and there. Why not? The wolf remains silent as he looks away from me. I feel myself getting even more angry. I'm tired of this alien holding me hostage. Well, I guess I'll just have to figure it out on my own then. I turn away and start moving towards the front of the deck. Amicus shifts around behind me. What? You don't even know the first thing about this ship! Don't... The big wolf grunts as he tries to get his feet up under him. Don't touch anything! I ignore him and move over to the panels, looking them over. The big one in the middle looks promising and I start poking at it. I know I won't be able to figure out how to turn this ship around, but the wolf's worry over me touching the panels gives me an idea. I can't probably mess things up to the point where he'll have to tell me what he's doing, or even how I might be able to get back. The lines and shapes move with my finger, and Roman numerals pop up randomly here and there. Hey! What are you doing? Amicus huffs and puffs behind me, just as a circle appears and compresses around my finger, like it's zeroed in on something. I look back to see Amicus hobbling up to his tied together feet, looking just about ready to topple over. You have no idea what... I feel a soft vibration under my finger, not unlike my phone's haptic feedback. Overriding sleep mode. Locked to Stella 556425. Doesn't Stella mean star? No! Come! Stop blast directive! Voice commands for piloting are reserved for the Emperor, Amicus. Human, stop! Amicus starts hopping towards me on his bound feet, and I scramble to the side so he doesn't run into me. No, no, no! The voice stares down at the panel, and I look out the window as the star seems to curve all the way to my right, making me feel sick again. And the next thing I know... Whoa! This is bad. Real bad. The cabin is lit up by ominous red glow. The windows suddenly tint, blocking the worst of the light, and that's when I'm able to see a massive ball of fire in front of the ship. The size of it is incredible. Orbital trajectory will intersect with photosphere. Ensure safety straps are in place, making corrective maneuver. I only have a moment to wonder what the hell Koma is talking about before Amicus and I are thrown sideways into the left window of the ship. The impact is mostly cushioned by Amicus' body, and I hear him yell and curse under me. Move! Get in the seat! I struggle to reach out to the seat in front of me, but I can barely lift my hand. The gravity of the star is so powerful, it feels like it's going to suck my soul out. Then I'm suddenly boosted by something behind me, and I look back, the movement making me feel like my neck is going to break. I see Amicus with his back planted against the window, his feet pushing me up to the seat. I manage to grab the armrest and pull myself into it. Now the left armrest is digging painfully into my back, making it feel like if a professional wrestler is slamming me into a backbreaker. Amicus jumps from the window, high enough that his feet lands against the right side of my chair. Nice. Then he jumps again, managing to wedge himself into the footwell of the opposite seat. Heat shields are compromised. Expect heat damage to outer layers of ship in 30 seconds. With a great deal of snoring and gasping, he pushes himself awkwardly into the seat, both feet planted against the panel in front of me for leverage. He turns to me, teeth bared, a determined look in his eyes. Look at your right armrest! Do you see a green panel between the red buttons? Through the shock, I'm somehow able to understand him and look down. Now, drag your fingers across it to the left. It will steer the ship. I feel panic starting to rise in my chest at the idea of steering a goddamn spaceship. What? Just do it! Point us away from the star! I do as I'm told, sliding the thumb gingerly over the green panel. And slowly the ship turns, pointing away from the star, shifting the incredible force of gravity until it's pulling us back into the seats. Now do you see that lever in between us? Yeah! Pull it down! Now reaching my hand out is almost impossible as it gets pulled back towards the star behind us. Gritting my teeth, I lean forward as hard as I can, practically throwing myself forward and grabbing onto the lever. Then gravity does the rest of the work and the lever comes down hard. I lose my grip and get thrown back into my seat. The gravity increases twofold, and for a moment it feels like my entire body is being crushed into a pancake. And then the burning orange light is gone, and the deck goes black. Running diagnostics. Amicus? Yes, Com. Damage to the ship is severe. Recovery mode is required. Enter recovery mode. Stand by. That could have been a place to stop, but we're not doing it. We sit in silence for a long time. I lean against the seat with both feet drawn up to my chest, feeling numb and shaky. I also feel stupid, embarrassed, and kind of guilty. On one hand, I nearly got both of us killed, but on the other hand, this crazy alien almost killed me by bringing me here in the first place. At least, it feels that way. I still don't know what his ultimate plan is with me. I wonder for the 100th time if I'm going to wake up. I plug my nose again and try to breathe through my nostrils. No air comes out. I sigh and look out the window at the blue glow that we found ourselves in. Wouldn't it be kind of sad if, like, the end of the game, they, like, erase your memory or something? Or something happen that makes you think when you you fall asleep or something, you get unconscious, and when you wake up, you're in your bed and you think that everything was just a dream? And that's how it goes on from then. That would be sad. The star that you just escaped is far away now, though it's still an almost blinding tiny orb far to my left. Kind of like how the sun was not too long ago. It's lighting up all the dust that's around with an eerily blue glow. It's kind of calming. I look over at Amicus, and I see him slumped in his chair, looking out the window. His shoulders are hunched, ears drooping, and his head down. He's on the edge of his seat because his arms are still tied behind his back, forcing him to lean forward a bit. Koma hasn't spoken since he went into recovery mode, and the ship hasn't moved at all. The usual hum isn't even there. It's just like if everything is turned off. So I finally decide to break the silence. Amicus? I see his ears flick, but he keeps his head down, not even looking at me. I swallow, and then try again. Amicus? I see his shoulders rise and fall in a deep sigh, but he keeps silent. I'm about to just give up and slump back into my seat when he suddenly responds. What? What's happening? The wolf turns to glare at me. What do you mean, what's happening? You broke the ship! He turns away and continues to sulk. I feel a little anger, and that's when I realize that this alien isn't alien at all. He's acting just like an upset human kid that isn't getting his way. It makes me a little less afraid of him. Excuse me? Do I have to go through the list of shit you did to me? Amicus turns to me again, and I can almost hear his mind working to think of some sort of comeback. Well, I think you topped it by nearly throwing us into a star, human. You shouldn't have kidnapped me in the first place, wolf! I should just be calling you a child since that's what you are. Well, this child outsmarted you, sapped you, and then tied you up. I see him bristle, the hackles rising on his shoulders like a dog. You could have killed me! That setting is meant for creatures 3 times my size! How was I supposed to know? I didn't know anything that's going on here! I told you what's going on! You really think I'm stupid, don't you? Amicus pouts and turns away again. I think that you thought that I'm just some stupid alien that you could take advantage of. I can tell you that I've been lying this whole time. Amicus flattens his ears even more, shoulders bunching up. Is that what you and your people do? Kidnapping and lying to everyone you meet? Now his hackles really raise up and he turns on me fast. I try to not lean back. Despite the similarities, he's still a big wolf, and those teeth are terrifying. I do not lie! The wolf's righteous indignation seems to deflate. The situation is too complicated for you to understand. I glare at him. Who's tied up again? Amicus doesn't take the bait this time and remains slumped. I guess it doesn't matter now. We're probably going to die out here with how badly the ship is burnt. And that makes my stomach twitch a bit. I want to ask him if he's just moping or if he actually thinks that we are going to die. But another long moment of silence stretches between us. I look out the window again, at the towering clouds of dust in front of us. Well, if that's the case, then can't you just tell him what's going on? Amicus goes on, staring out his window. I sigh and lean back, resigned to the idea that I might not even know why I was dragged into space, to simply get stuck and die in the dust of clouds. Then Amicus speaks. I made some mistakes. I glance at him, waiting, not wanting to say anything in case he stops talking. I didn't know that your species weren't part of the Galaxias. It's very illegal to make first contact without authorization from a parent. Parent? The authorities of the galaxy. I frown, and Amicus looks at the confusion on my face. How can I put this simply? There are 3 levels in the Galactica. At the very top are the parents. They arrived from far beyond our galaxy to spread their culture here. Amicus glances at me. You know what a galaxy is? That there are others outside of your own? Yeah. Amicus lets out a breathy chuckle. Yeah, of course. I probably should have expected that. So you must know then that intergalactic travel is incredibly advanced, almost godlike, and that's what they are. Gods. There are 8 of them that are still present in our galaxy, though they rarely communicate with us these days. And then there are siblings. That's where my species are part of. The galaxy was scoped out by the parents at the very start to find the most intelligent and capable species. Then the selected one, and we were the one chosen and uplifted by the Romanians. The note of pride in Amicus' voice is obvious. From then on, it has been our mission to increase intelligence in promising species and to teach them our philosophy and culture, to uplift. I try to make sense of that in terms that I can understand. So, you spread the culture of your parents, and they're like gods, and your species are like missionaries? Amicus shrugs. Yeah, sort of like that. That doesn't sound great, especially when I compare it to things that happen on Earth. Mass galactic assimilation? So, why are they doing this? If they got here at the same time and did the same thing, does that mean that they're working together? Amicus shakes his head. We don't really know all of the reasons for what the parents do, but we compete with other siblings. But that brings me to the rest of the sapiens of the galaxy, the children. The siblings uplift the children and bring them into our fold under the direction of our parents. Again, they haven't told us exactly what's going on, but we came to the conclusion that it's some sort of competition, and we mean to win for our parents. So, I'm a child? Well, no, not really. I've been calling you that, but you're not part of the Galaxias, and that's where I made my mistake. Like I said, it was illegal for me to contact you, but I didn't know. How did you know that? Shouldn't you have some sort of record of this type of stuff? That's a confusing part to me. I found Earth in the library, so there was a record of it. But there wasn't much, just a few footnotes about the sapient species there. But because that record exists, I know that your species was uplifted to child status at some point. In Rome? Presumably, but sometimes the species is unable to be uplifted for some different reasons. Too aggressive, too docile, too unintelligent. Amicus glares at me. I thought this was what happened to your species. Then if we have already been uplifted, doesn't that mean that you already made first contact? Yeah, but you're still not part of the Galaxias. That's why I made a mistake. You should know about it, but you don't. Knowledge of other intelligent life is sacred, and for whatever reason, your species lost it. So it doesn't matter that we made contact before. If the knowledge of the Galaxias has been lost, then any form of communication between us is first contact all over again. And while uplifting has been cancelled with species in the past, we don't completely cut off contact. They're permanently part of Galaxias. I've never heard of something like this happening before, so I panicked. Amicus glanced at the ceiling. Wasn't able to tell me that until he connected to your Nexus. Nexus? Another word that doesn't translate. Like the technology that connects places, people, information. The internet? If that's your word for it. So, I try to understand everything that I'm being told. Why didn't you just tell me all of that before you kidnapped me? Or even knocked me out? I see Amicus' ears flatten and he looks away, clearly ashamed. I don't know. I didn't fully understand the intelligence of your species yet, and I thought I could just lead you to believe things. I don't say anything and Amicus shifts uncomfortably. Leaving you on Earth after you saw me, you might have gone to authorities on your planet without knowledge, which might have led to a monitor being alerted. Amicus answers my question before I can ask it. Monitors are basically the ears and eyes of our parents. They monitor the galaxy. And what happens if they are alerted? Amicus sighs deeply. I don't know. It hasn't happened in a long time, and I don't think that anyone has ever broken this particular law. It's one of the most important laws we're supposed to follow. Knowing I'd broken it, Amicus pauses. Scares you? Amicus shakes his head, but he doesn't say anything. I try to piece this all together in my head. So, then you panicked and kidnapped me? It was either that or kill you, or leave you and hope for the best. But it was a risk that I felt that I couldn't take at the time. Amicus seems to shrink in his seat. And I guess I just didn't want to tell you because I knew that I disrupt your life in a terrible way. I thought I might be able to make you forget and want to stay with me if you saw my home. But why? Why did you do it in the first place? What do you want from me? Amicus looks at me for a long while, probably debating how much to tell me. Then he turns away. Is it that he wanted human for a pet or something? It was that! No! I needed a pet. Excuse me? Amicus shrinks up even more in his chair. It's a very long story. I glare at the back of his head. Well, if we're going to be here for a while, then I have time. Amicus goes on, staring out the window. My father was the emperor, and the throne was mine to take, but my brother has challenged me for it, so now we're both competing for it. Amicus looks out at the corner of his eye for my reaction. His expression tells me that I should be impressed, but learning that he might be an influential figure among his people doesn't really seem too crazy after all the events of the past day or so. And getting a pet will help you how? My brother has one, a sibling species, which means that his pet is on the same level of the hierarchy as us. I frown. Oh, and that's unusual? Definitely. It shouldn't even be legal, but somehow he negotiated it. They signed a contract and everything. I shake my head. So, what does having a pet do? Amicus shrugs. The fact that my brother was able to obtain such a prestigious pet shows his skill at negotiation and has put me at a huge disadvantage. I needed to do something even more grand to impress my father's advisor. He's the one that would choose between us. By kidnapping me? Amicus grows. That was part of the plan. I thought you'd know what I was and be amazed that a wolf had come back to your species. So I was going to make a deal with you, like my brother did with his pet. I just wanted a sapien that no one had seen in a long time. Aw, Amicus. So that's why I'm here. To be used as some pawn in some power struggle in some alien empire far away? So why can't you just take me back if I promise not to say anything? I would take you back if I could. I realize now that that would have been a better option, but I can't. Why not? First of all, the ship might be damaged beyond repair. Secondly, there isn't enough power to get back. Earth was on the outer reaches of how far I could travel. I need the rest to return home. I managed to stop myself from telling the wolf that all of this is his fault and shouldn't be my problem at all. Well, can we get more power when we get to your home and then go back to Earth? No, it's a type of power that a parent produces. We're not able to harness it yet. So get more from them, from whoever you got this power from in the first place. Amicus leans his head against the headrest. Our parents authorized and distributes it, and for whatever reason they stopped supplying it when we lost the Emperor. I feel myself growing even more and more frustrated. Then how the hell are you using it now? A moment of silence goes by. This is my father's ship. Only the Emperor has constant access to the technology. I borrowed it to get to you. I glare at him. You mean stole it? You know, you're pretty dishonest for someone who says that they never lie. Another soft rumbling grows from him. Times are desperate. Ask your dad to take me back then. But he said that his dad died, didn't he? He said that they lost the Emperor. Doesn't that mean that he's dead? If you didn't gather it earlier, he's dead, so no one has access to it right now. I'm just using up what's left. I stare at Amicus for a while, words failing me. Listen, I didn't want to do all of these things I did to you. I'm protecting us both. I laugh. Oh, really? Yes, I was planning to bring you to the palace, to give you a good life and forget about your old one. Then you started asking all these questions, and I realized that your intelligence is much higher than I thought it would be. Then Com thought that you might attack me. I made a mistake. Amicus lets out another huge sigh and slumps over in the seat, looking away. Several minutes go by in silence, both of us staring out in the eerie blue. So, what now? What are your plans? Amicus is the one who laughs this time. Well, getting out of these bonds, of course. If you'd let me. I look at him incredulously. Amicus sighs. Listen, you have no idea how to handle this ship. I can at least run diagnostics and see what we can do about this. And what's stopping you from knocking me out again? If you don't attack me or hit me with a nervo again, then I won't have to. I look at my left armrest and pick up the little taser device. This? Amicus eyes it uneasily. Yeah. How can I trust you after everything that happened? I give you my word. I frown. And you could go back on that just as easily. I don't make promises easily, Bo. Amicus is so indignant that I actually believe him. Or he's just a really good actor. Either way, I'm going to have to let him out at some point, especially if we really can't get back to Earth. So I make my decision. If I let you go, you will have to find a way to get me back to Earth. Amicus thinks for a moment. I can do that if I become Emperor. And how long will that take? Amicus shrugs. A few months if this all goes well. With your help, it can even be faster. You're very clever. More intelligent than some wolves I know even. Months? My parents are probably freaking out by now. School starts in a few weeks. All of these things seem so distant now. Amicus frowns. I'm sorry, but I can't do anything about this. I need to be an emperor to even talk to the parents. I think, but again, I don't have many options. I look Amicus in the eye. You promise? You have my word. And for a moment I sit there, contemplating. Then I sit straight up. Alright, stand up. Amicus perks up and then hops to his bound feet, almost falling over. I'm sure to place the nerve coat close behind me, just in case. A few minutes later, and the wolf is free. We both regard each other warily for a few moments before Amicus finally sighs. Listen, I have no reason to incapacitate you for now that you know everything, but if it makes you feel better, you can hang on to the Nerva until we get to Adastra. Is that a fair exchange? I look back at the little device. While I have little reason to trust Amicus, the wolf have vertically no reason to trust me. I consider it, and then shake my head. Can we put it away somewhere else? I'd rather not just be thinking about it. Amicus looks at me with surprise, then rubs his stomach where I jabbed him. Okay, yeah, that sounds like a deal to me. Amicus holds out the paw, and I look down at the thick black pads on his fingers and palm before picking up the nerval and handing it to him carefully. For a moment, I imagine him immediately turning a thing around and jabbing it into my face, but instead, he turns and walks away towards the back of the ship. I notice his stance is slightly bow-legged, and he's adjusting himself a few times. Oh, poor Amicus. That makes me feel a little guilty about fighting dirty earlier. But only a little. On his way, he swept his cape in one fluid motion before wrapping it around his shoulders. Then he moves to the back wall and sticks out the paw. He presses a panel and a small portion of the wall slides back, revealing another small room. From where I am, I can see that it looks like a little cot and various cupboards. He opens one of these and places the Nervo inside, before shutting it. He comes back out and notices me staring. That's my quarter. It's where I sleep. If you need to urinate or whatever else you do, there's a toilet in there. I'm fine for now. I feel my stomach gurgle, something that he's been doing for a while now. I am a little hungry though. Amicus raises a brow. You want to try it again? Sure. And that's where we end this episode! Woo! I think that's a good enough place to stop for this time. Yeah, I've been recording almost 2 hours. 1 hour and 45 minutes, so I guess this episode will be about 20-25 minutes maybe? But yeah, Jesus, a lot of things happen now. It's nice to actually know now what's going on and understand like why this is happening. So I guess we will meet all these characters he's been mentioning. His brother, the pet of his brother, and the person who has to choose who will become the next emperor, and maybe even the parents, I don't know. Or maybe only Amicus will meet the parents. But yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and big thank you to my patrons for supporting me and letting me make videos like this. You know, as always, if you want to become patron, all links are in the description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you. So take care, and remember that you are loved and appreciated, and that you should be proud of who you are, because I want to see you in the next episode. Bye!